Hey everybody, welcome in. Today we're talking about the new season of the Real Housewives of New York. Now this season is not just any new season, this is a completely different show. We got a completely different cast. They scrapped the old one and it's a new era. So let's get right into it. It was a really interesting episode. So we have one of the women we have is a girl named Brynn. We have another one named Jenna. There's Jessel. We have Sai. We have Ubah. And lastly, we have Erin. Just from those, they introduced them for a quick 2 minutes or so, we could see that this is going to be a very fun, different, fresh dynamic, and it feels like a true representation of New York. The first scene is this lady named Sai. She's at home, she has a lot of kids, and Brynn comes over because they're really good friends. And Brynn is a little bit on the younger side, but Sai seems to have her life a little bit more settled in. Like I said, she does have kids, she is married, she's a content creator, she looks like she is successful in that field. We also see a glimpse into Jessel. She has twin boys who are very young, and she also goes with Sai and with Brynn at the house. And it's funny because at that point there were just so many kids that were so small, just jumping around, being crazy and everything. We also see Erin and Ubah hanging out in the city. Ubah is actually cousins with Chanel Lyons from Dubai, so that's interesting. And as they're talking, kind of catching up, the drama has already begun. Turns out that Erin has a problem with Brynn. She says that she's still a little salty about the other night. Now, what happened the other night? Looks like what happened was that Erin reserved a very fancy restaurant, or I don't know, for all of them to go eat. And Brynn bailed on the dinner. And then she went to have dinner at another place with Sai, and then they posted it on Instagram. So it kind of felt like they were rubbing it in Erin's face. And Erin says, it's not even about the restaurant. It could have been a cheap bar where I made the reservation. It's the fact that they bailed, they lied, and went somewhere else and then posted it about it later. But going back to the house of Sai, where Brynn and Jessel are hanging out, they are also talking about Erin. Erin has a problem with Sai as well, according to Brynn, because they hung out one night and somebody, being Erin, questioned the charcuterie board and where was the cheese. And Sai apparently said, "You eat cheese?" with some judgment. So now Brynn is claiming that Erin is mad at Sai for asking about the cheese. It's crazy, isn't it? Okay, moving along, there's another home scene with Jessel. She's with her husband and her mother lives with them. And then Jenna comes over. She's the other housewife. Jenna is like this over-the-top, funny, nice person. She's like the type who would probably wear some crazy colors. She does make clothes. She even did a dress that Michelle Obama wore. I feel like the best way to describe her is like that weird, funny, creative art teacher. That's the best way I could probably describe it. But Jenna is there with Jessel, and they're talking about this girls' night that Jenna is planning to have in her house. And Jessel jokingly says, "By the way, don't have no cheese in your house. We don't want no more of that problem." And then next we see Erin as well in her house, family scene. The family's coming over. She is Israeli. That's interesting. She has 3 kids who are also very young. When I say very young, I'm saying toddlers and kids under the age of 5, very young. And then it's time for this girls' night. So a lot of the women, we see them getting ready, trying to figure out what to wear because Jenna told them what colors to wear. And they're getting ready. Some of them are calling each other to say what am I wearing or what should I wear? Jessel and Erin were FaceTiming, and Jessel tells Erin some of the conversation that happened when she went to Sai's house and Brynn was there. So she asks Erin, "Did you tell Brynn that Sai was being rude because you had cheese?" And Erin is very upset because she feels like Brynn is stirring the pot and making stuff up because she doesn't like her, and now she wants her to have a problem with Sai when they don't. And then we get to see Jenna's house. By the way, she also is a mother, but her son is 15. He's a little bit older, but she's older as well. And just because of all the drama revolving around this cheese, she has extra cheese that day. It was crazy. And then the women start to arrive. She shows her shoe closet. It's insane. I don't think I've ever seen that many shoes. It was unbelievable. And again, I want to reiterate, Jenna had a crazy amount of cheese. Like, every type of cheese, she had it. It was, look, I love cheese, so I get it. But now, when Sai gets there, she feels like she has to be eating all this cheese to prove that she really wasn't judging Erin and her eating her cheese. And then, like I said, the women are arriving one by one, and the last one to arrive is Brynn. Brynn and Erin have that tension going on, so Brynn knows what she's about to walk into. And then as they're, hanging out, Jenna introduces the game. She gives little envelopes with like freaky adult questions, kind of rated X. And they're all having fun as they're reading them and answering them. But Brynn says something a little shady, and then it explodes with Erin. So she says to Brynn, like, what's your problem with me? Like, what's your problem with the restaurant? What's this and that? And Brynn is saying, like, it's not 2012. I don't want to go to that restaurant. Which, by the way, that specific restaurant, they kept bleeping it every time one of them would mention the name of it. And then Sai gets involved with the cheese thing. And then Erin is saying that Brynn is making up that cheese thing because she wants to stir things up with Erin and Sai. Nobody really wants to hear about this there, so Erin and Brynn get up and go talk about it separately in another room. They do have a much calmer tone. They kind of talk it over. They're able to see each other's point of view, and they resolve it. Obviously, there's something there. I mean, they're really not fighting about cheese or a restaurant. So I wonder what's going to happen as we continue on with the season. And then, I guess since they're since they made up, they walk into Jenna's closet to get some of her shoes, and they put on some clothes, and then they walk out with the rest of the women. And poor Jenna, she props to her for having the control of seeing some randoms enter her room and now are wearing her clothes. Like, don't do that. Don't be wearing my clothes. And then that's where the episode ends. So again, I liked it. I'm not gonna say I loved it, and I feel like maybe it'll take some time. I will say, I know that with this reboot, there's been a lot of talk about other shows like Atlanta maybe rebooting it as well. And I don't think I'm ready for that. I mean, I was never really a New York fan anyway, but when it comes to a show like Atlanta, I don't think I would be ready. I feel like I would have separation anxiety or something. I feel like the best thing to do in a show like Atlanta is probably like introduce new people like slowly and then eventually have a new cast. But with this cast in particular though, I did like it, and one of the things that I did love is the diversity. I mean, you have Jenna, who's an older fashion designer, and I think she's into women. You have Brynn, who's on the much younger side. You have Erin, who, like I said, is Israeli. You have Sai, who's biracial, and she's in a biracial marriage. You have Jessel, who is Indian, but she's from Britain. And then you have Ubah, who is from Somalia. So the diversity is awesome, and I will definitely be watching this show. I can't wait to see what happens. And like I said, I feel like because we don't know them, so I feel like as we slowly get to know them, it'll start to become like we'll start to get more comfortable with these characters. But yeah, it was a pretty fun show. Let me know what were your thoughts in the comments section. You guys, anything you want to tell me? What do you think about these dynamics, and what do you think about the show? Who do you like, by the way, from who we have seen so far? So let me know, guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a great one. Bye.